The Wealth Builder's Mindset. How ordinary people create extraordinary wealth through thinking, investing, and calculated risk. By Peter Essete. Table of Contents. Part 1. Building the Wealth Mindset. Why most people never become wealthy. The hidden programming behind your financial life. Thinking like an investor instead of an employee. The wealth habits that compound over time. Part 2. Understanding money. The difference between income and wealth. Making money work for you. Assets, liabilities, and cash flow. Escaping the lifestyle trap. Part 3. The investor's journey. The power of starting small. Understanding investment vehicles. Diversification and wealth preservation. The psychology of market cycles. Part 4. Mastering risk. Why risk is not the enemy.
Introduction. Most people spend their lives working for money. A smaller group learns how to make money work for them. An even smaller group understands that wealth is not built through income alone. It is built through mindset, investment decisions, and the intelligent management of risk. This book is not about getting rich overnight. It is about developing the thinking patterns, habits, and strategies that have helped ordinary people become financially independent and create lasting wealth. Chapter 1. Why most people never become wealthy. The story of two friends. David and Michael graduated from university together. David immediately looked for the safest job possible. His goal was security. Michael also got a job, but he spent his evenings learning about business, investments, and financial management. 10 years later, David owned a decent salary, but lived paycheck to paycheck. Michael earned a similar salary, but had accumulated investments, built side businesses, and owned income-producing assets. The difference was not intelligence. The difference was mindset.
The wealth myth. Many people believe wealth is for lucky people. Wealth is for people born into rich families. Wealth requires extraordinary talent. These beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. When people believe wealth is beyond their reach, they stop looking for opportunities. The wealth reality. Most wealth is built through consistent learning, delayed gratification, long-term investing, intelligent risk-taking, financial discipline. Wealth is often the result of thousands of small decisions made correctly over many years. The cost of comfort. Comfort is one of the greatest enemies of wealth. People often avoid learning new skills, avoid investments, avoid business opportunities, avoid uncertainty. Yet every significant financial breakthrough exists outside comfort zones. Key lessons. Wealth begins in the mind before it appears in the bank account. Financial education matters more than financial income. Comfort and growth rarely coexist. Wealth is built through long-term thinking.
Chapter 1. Assessment. Multiple choice. 1. What is the primary difference between wealthy and non-wealthy individuals? A. Intelligence. B. Family background. C. Mindset. D. Luck. Answer C. 2. Wealth is usually built through A. Winning the lottery. B. Long-term disciplined decisions. C. Inheritance. D. High salaries alone. Answer B. Reflection questions. What beliefs about money did you learn growing up? Which of those beliefs are helping you? Which beliefs are limiting your financial growth? Action exercise. Write down 3 wealth-building habits you will begin practicing this month.
Chapter 2. The hidden programming behind your financial life. Your financial thermostat. Every person has an internal financial thermostat. Just as a thermostat controls room temperature, your beliefs influence your income, spending habits, and investment decisions. If you believe you deserve only a certain level of success, you will unconsciously sabotage opportunities that exceed that level. Sources of financial programming. Your money beliefs come from parents, friends, religion, culture, media, past experiences. Many people inherit limiting beliefs without realizing it. Examples include money is evil, rich people are greedy, investing is dangerous, business is risky. Reprogramming your financial mind. Successful investors replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of saying, investing is risky, they say, being financially ignorant is risky.
Instead of saying, I can't afford it, they ask, how can I afford it? The questions you ask determine the answers you discover. Key lessons. Your financial results reflect your financial beliefs. Limiting beliefs can be replaced. Growth starts with awareness. Wealthy people ask better financial questions. Chapter 2. Assessment. True or false? Most financial beliefs originate during childhood. Wealthy thinking can be learned. Financial programming cannot be changed. Answers. True, true, false. Reflection exercise. List 5 money beliefs you currently hold. For each one, determine whether it empowers or limits your financial growth. Chapter 3. Thinking like an investor instead of an employee. The story of James and Daniel. James and Daniel started their careers on the same day. Both earned the same salary and worked for reputable companies. Every month, they received their paychecks and celebrated their progress. James believed that financial success came from earning more money. Whenever he received a raise, he upgraded his lifestyle. He bought a new phone, rented a bigger apartment, and financed a new car. Daniel had a different perspective. He viewed his salary as a tool rather than a destination. Instead of spending every increasing income, he invested a portion of it into assets that could generate future income. After 15 years, James had earned more than enough money to build wealth, yet he was burdened by debt and dependent on his monthly salary. Daniel, on the other hand, owned stocks, a rental property, and a growing business. Some months, his investments earned more than his salary. The difference wasn't their income. The difference was how they fought. James fought like an employee. Daniel fought like an investor. Chapter 3. Thinking like an investor instead of an employee. The story of James and Daniel. James and Daniel started their careers on the same day. Both earned the same salary and worked for reputable companies. Every month, they received their paychecks and celebrated their progress. James believed that financial success came from earning more money. Whenever he received a raise, he upgraded his lifestyle. He bought a new phone, rented a bigger apartment, and financed a new car. Daniel
had a different perspective. He viewed his salary as a tool rather than a destination. Instead of spending every increasing income, he invested a portion of it into assets that could generate future income. After 15 years, James had earned more than enough money to build wealth, yet he was burdened by debt and dependent on his monthly salary. Daniel, on the other hand, owned stocks, a rental property, and a growing business. Some months, his investments earned more than his salary. The difference wasn't their income. The difference was how they fought. James fought like an employee. Daniel fought like an investor.
Understanding the employee mindset. There is nothing wrong with being employed. In fact, many successful investors began their journey as employees. The problem arises when people remain dependent on employment as their only source of income. The employee mindset often focuses on job security, monthly salary, promotions, benefits, working for money. The employee asks, "How much can I earn?" The investor asks, "How can I make my money earn more money?" This simple shift in thinking can completely transform a person's financial future.
Understanding the investor mindset. An investor sees opportunities where others see expenses. They understand that every naira, dollar, or pound can either be spent or put to work. Investors constantly ask, will this purchase make me richer or poorer? Will this increase my future cash flow? Is this an asset or a liability? What return can I expect from this decision? They recognize that wealth is not built solely through labor. Wealth is built through ownership.
Buying assets before luxuries. One of the biggest mistakes people make is rewarding themselves too early. They buy luxuries before they own assets. Examples include expensive cars, designer clothing, latest gadgets, luxury vacations, large houses they cannot comfortably afford. There is nothing inherently wrong with these things. The problem occurs when people purchase them before establishing income-producing assets. The wealth rule. Assets first, luxuries later. Imagine receiving a bonus of 1 million naira. The average person might spend it on a new phone, furniture, entertainment, fashion. An investor might use the same money to buy dividend-paying stocks, invest in a business, acquire rental property, purchase equipment that generates income. Years later, the investor can buy the same luxuries using profits generated by assets. The average spender must continue to work to pay for theirs.
What is an asset? An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Examples include stocks, bonds, mutual funds, rental properties, businesses, intellectual property, royalties, digital products, agricultural investments. Assets generate income or appreciate in value over time. The wealthy focus on accumulating assets. The middle class often focus on accumulating possessions.
Understanding opportunity cost. Every financial decision has a hidden cost. This hidden cost is called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what you give up when you choose one option over another. For example, you spend 500,000 naira on a luxury watch. The visible cost is 500,000 naira. The hidden cost may be future investment returns, business opportunities, compound growth. Suppose that 500,000 naira was invested instead and grew at an average annual return of 10%. 10 years later, it could become much more valuable than the original amount. The watch may lose value. The investment may continue growing. This is why investors evaluate purchases differently. They ask, what am I giving up by spending this money?
The power of compound growth. One of the greatest advantages investors possess is understanding compounding. Compounding allows money to earn returns, and then those returns earn additional returns. Small investments made consistently over many years can grow into significant wealth. This is why time is often more important than the amount invested. The earlier you start, the greater the impact of compounding. Investors understand this principle and prioritize getting started rather than waiting for the perfect moment.
Developing an ownership mentality. Employees are paid for their time. Owners are rewarded for the value of what they own. The wealthiest individuals in the world typically own companies, real estate, intellectual property, investments, equity. Ownership creates leverage. When you own part of a company through stocks, you benefit from the company's growth. When you own a business, you benefit from its profits. When you own real estate, you benefit from appreciation and rental income. The investor's goal is not merely to work harder. The investor's goal is to own more productive assets.
The shift from consumption to ownership. Most people are trained to become consumers. Advertisements encourage people to buy more. Investors think differently. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" they ask, "What can I own?" Consider these examples. Consumer thinking, investor thinking. Buy the latest phone. Buy shares in the company making the phone. Rent luxury items. Own assets generating rental income. Spend bonuses. Invest bonuses. Focus on earning. Focus on ownership. This mindset shift is often the beginning of long-term wealth creation.
Long-term decision-making. Most people think in days, weeks, or months. Investors think in years and decades. When evaluating an opportunity, investors ask, where will this investment be in 5 years? What about 10 years? What about 20 years? They understand that wealth is rarely built overnight. Many investment opportunities require patience. Trees do not bear fruit immediately after planting. Likewise, investments require time to mature. Those who constantly seek instant gratification often miss opportunities for substantial long-term growth.
Wealth accumulation through investing. Wealth accumulation is not about making one brilliant investment. It is about making many sound decisions over time. Successful investors generally follow several principles. Principle 1. Invest consistently. Regular investments often outperform occasional large investments. Principle 2. Diversify. Avoid placing all your money into a single investment. Principle 3. Stay educated. Financial literacy reduces costly mistakes. Principle 4. Be patient. The market rewards patience more often than impulsiveness. Principle 5.
Think long-term. Focus on building wealth rather than chasing quick profits. Key lessons from this chapter. 1. Employees work for money. Investors make money work for them. 2. Assets should come before luxuries. 3. Every purchase has an opportunity cost. 4. Ownership is one of the foundations of wealth. 5. Long-term thinking creates better financial decisions. 6. Wealth is accumulated through consistent investing and patience.
Chapter 3, Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. What is the primary difference between an employee mindset and an investor mindset? A. Education. B. Age. C. Focus on ownership and asset growth. D. Job title. Answer: C. 2. Which of the following is considered an asset? A. Credit card debt. B. Personal loan. C. Rental property producing income. D. Expensive clothing. Answer: C.
Opportunity cost refers to A. The price of an item. B. The tax paid on investments. C. What you give up when choosing one option over another. D. Investment management fees. Answer: C. 4. Investors generally prioritize A. Spending first. B. Luxuries before assets. C. Assets before luxuries. D. Debt before savings. Answer: C. 5. Which factor is most critical for compound growth? A. Timing the market perfectly. B. Starting early and staying consistent. C. Taking excessive risks. D. Following trends. Answer: B.
True or false? Wealthy people focus primarily on ownership. True. Every spending decision has an opportunity cost. True. Luxury purchases are always bad. False. Compounding works best over long periods. True. Investors think longer term than most consumers. True. Reflection questions. What percentage of your current income is used to acquire assets? Are there any luxury purchases delaying your financial goals? What assets could you realistically begin acquiring within the next 12 months? Wealth building action exercise. Create your personal asset acquisition plan. List 3 assets you want to own within the next year. The amount needed for each asset. Your monthly contribution toward acquiring them. The expected income or value growth from each asset. Commit to reviewing this plan every month for the next 12 months. Remember, employees earn income. Investors build wealth through ownership. The sooner you begin thinking like an investor, the sooner your money can begin working for you.
Chapter 4. The Wealth Habits That Compound Over Time. The story of Sarah and Rebecca. Sarah and Rebecca graduated from the same university and started their careers at the same company. Both were intelligent, hardworking, and ambitious. In their first year, they earned nearly identical salaries. Sarah believed success came from big opportunities. She spent most of her free time relaxing and waiting for the next promotion. Rebecca believed success was built through small daily improvements. Every day, she read for 30 minutes. Every month, she reviewed her finances. Every week, she connected with new people in her industry. Every year, she learned a new skill. 10 years later, Sarah was still hoping for the breakthrough that would change her life. Rebecca had become the breakthrough. She had developed valuable skills, built a powerful network, increased her earning potential, and accumulated investments that generated income. The difference wasn't talent. The difference was habits. While most people focus on dramatic changes, wealthy individuals understand that wealth is often the result of small actions repeated consistently over time.
The power of compounding habits. Most people understand that money compounds. Few understand that habits compound. A small habit repeated daily can produce extraordinary results over years. Consider these examples. Daily habit, long-term result. Reading 20 pages daily, thousands of pages per year. Saving 5,000 Naira weekly, significant capital over time. Learning a new skill monthly, increased earning potential. Networking regularly, more opportunities. Exercising discipline daily, better financial decisions. Just as compound interest multiplies money, compound habits multiply success. The wealthiest people often possess ordinary habits performed extraordinarily well over long periods.
Habit number 1: reading and continuous learning. Why reading creates wealth. One of the most common characteristics among successful investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders is their commitment to learning. Financial opportunities often favor informed individuals. The more you learn, the better decisions you make, the fewer costly mistakes you make, the more opportunities you recognize, the greater your earning potential becomes. Reading expands your ability to think beyond your current circumstances.
What wealth builders read. Successful wealth creators often focus on financial education, investing, personal finance, economics, wealth management, business education, marketing, sales, leadership, negotiation, personal development, productivity, communication, psychology, decision-making, industry knowledge. Understanding your field makes you more valuable and harder to replace. The 30-minute rule. Imagine reading just 30 minutes every day. Within a year, you could finish dozens of books. Within 10 years, you could possess knowledge that places you far ahead of most people in your profession. The habit may seem small. Its impact can be life-changing.
Habit number 2: budgeting. Why budgeting matters. Many people earn enough money to build wealth, but fail because they lack control over their finances. Budgeting is not about restriction. It is about direction. A budget tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. The Wealth Builder's Budget. A simple approach might look like this. Necessities: housing, transportation, food, utilities. Investments: stocks, mutual funds, business investments, retirement contributions. Learning: books, courses, certifications. Lifestyle: entertainment, travel, personal spending. The key principle is simple. Pay yourself first. Before spending on wants, allocate money toward your future.
Habit number 3: networking. Opportunities travel through people. Many people underestimate the role relationships play in wealth creation. Opportunities often come from referrals, partnerships, mentors, clients, investors, friends. Your network can significantly influence your net worth. The networking myth. Networking is not collecting business cards. Networking is building genuine relationships. People are more likely to help those they know, trust, and respect. Building meaningful connections. Effective networking includes helping others first, providing value, staying in touch, being authentic, showing genuine interest. The goal is not to use people. The goal is to build mutually beneficial relationships.
Habit number 4, skill development. Skills create income. Assets create wealth. Skills create the income needed to acquire assets. The marketplace rewards value. The more value you can provide, the more you can earn. High-income skills. Examples include sales, digital marketing, software development, data analysis, public speaking, copywriting, project management, artificial intelligence, leadership. These skills can dramatically increase earning potential. Never stop improving. The world changes rapidly. Technology evolves. Industries transform. New opportunities emerge. People who continue learning remain relevant. Those who stop learning risk becoming obsolete.
The skill-wealth connection. Consider two individuals. Both earn $200,000 monthly. One spends all of it. The other invests in developing a valuable skill. Within a few years, the skilled individual may double or triple their income. That additional income can then be invested into wealth-producing assets. Skills are often the bridge between where you are and where you want to be financially.
Habit number 5, consistency.
The most underrated wealth habit. Many people know what to do. Few consistently do it. Success is rarely determined by intensity. It is usually determined by consistency. Anyone can exercise for one day. Anyone can save money for 1 month. Anyone can read one book. The challenge is continuing for years. Why consistency wins? Consistency creates momentum, discipline, confidence, long-term results. Small actions repeated over long periods outperform occasional bursts of effort. The 1% improvement principle. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. The improvement may seem insignificant at first. Over time, however, those small gains accumulate into remarkable growth. Wealth builders understand that success is not built in a day. It is built daily.
The compound effect of wealth habits. Let's compare two individuals over 10 years. Person A rarely reads, spends impulsively, avoids learning new skills annually, doesn't network, lacks financial discipline. Person B reads daily, budgets monthly, learns new skills annually, builds relationships intentionally, invests consistently. Initially, there may be little difference. After 10 years, the gap can become enormous. This is the power of compounding habits. Key lessons from this chapter. Wealth-building habits compound just like money. Reading expands knowledge and opportunity. Budgeting creates financial control. Networking opens doors to opportunities. Skills increase earning potential. Consistency produces extraordinary long-term results.
Small daily actions often create massive future rewards.
Chapter 4. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. What is the primary reason wealthy individuals prioritize reading? A. Entertainment. B. To impress others. C. To increase knowledge and improve decision-making. D. To pass time. Answer. C. A budget helps you A. Spend more money. B. Track and direct your money intentionally. C. Eliminate all expenses. D. Avoid paying taxes. Answer. B.
4. Why is skill development important? A. Skills increase earning potential. B. Skills reduce taxes. C. Skills eliminate risk. D. Skills guarantee wealth. Answer A. 5. Which habit is most responsible for long-term success? A. Motivation. B. Luck. C. Consistency. D. Intelligence. Answer C.
True or false? Wealth habits compound over time. True. Budgeting is only for people with low incomes. False. Skills can increase earning potential. True. Networking is about using people for personal gain. False. Consistency often matters more than intensity. True. Reflection questions. Which wealth-building habit do you currently practice consistently? Which habit is most lacking in your life right now? What one habit, if developed over the next year, would have the greatest impact on your financial future?
Wealth Building Action Exercise. Create your 30-day Wealth Habit Challenge. For the next 30 days, read 10 pages daily. Track every expense. Reach out to one valuable connection each week. Spend at least 30 minutes developing a marketable skill daily. Invest or save a fixed amount every week. At the end of 30 days, review your progress and identify which habit produced the greatest positive change. Remember, wealth is rarely built through one big decision. It is built through thousands of small, intelligent decisions repeated consistently over time. The habits you practice today are quietly shaping the financial reality you will experience tomorrow. Chapter 5. The Difference Between Income and Wealth. The Story of Mark and Samuel. Mark was a successful lawyer, earning over $2,500,000 every month. Samuel owned a small printing business and earned approximately $600,000 monthly. On the surface, Mark appeared wealthier. He drove a luxury SUV, lived in an expensive neighborhood, wore designer clothes, and frequently traveled. Samuel drove a modest vehicle, lived below his means, and avoided unnecessary spending. Then an economic downturn occurred. Mark lost several major clients and struggled to maintain his lifestyle. His car was financed, his house was heavily mortgaged, and his savings were minimal. Samuel continued receiving income from his business, rental property, and investment portfolio. Even when business slowed, his assets continued producing cash flow. Despite earning less, Samuel had accumulated more wealth. Mark had high income. Samuel had wealth. Many people confuse the two. Income is not wealth. One of the greatest financial misconceptions is believing that a high income automatically makes someone wealthy. Income is simply the money you earn. Wealth is the value of what you own after subtracting what you owe. A person can earn millions and still be financially fragile. Another person can earn a moderate income and become financially independent. Income helps create wealth, but income itself is not wealth.
Why high earners can be broke. Many people increase their income, but never increase their wealth. Why? Because every increase in earnings is matched by an increase in spending. This is known as lifestyle inflation. As income rises, houses become bigger, cars become more expensive, vacations become more luxurious. Spending increases. The result? Higher earnings, but little financial progress. Many high earners are only one missed paycheck away from financial trouble.
The illusion of wealth. Society often teaches people to look wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. Many people spend money trying to signal success. Examples include luxury cars they don't own outright, expensive watches purchased on credit, designer clothing, lavish lifestyles financed through debt. True wealth often looks different. Real wealth may be hidden. It often appears as investment accounts, rental properties, business ownership, dividend-producing assets, savings, and reserves. The problem is that people admire visible consumption while ignoring invisible wealth. Net worth, the real measure of wealth. Your salary tells you how much you earn. Your net worth tells you how much you own. Net worth formula. Net worth equals assets minus liabilities. Assets include cash, investments, real estate, businesses, retirement accounts. Liabilities include loans, credit card debt, mortgages, personal debts. Example: assets, savings, $5 million. Stocks, $3 million. Property equity, $12 million. Total assets, $20 million. Liabilities: mortgage balance, $5 million. Car loan, $1 million. Total liabilities, $6 million. Net worth, $14 million. This number provides a more accurate picture of financial health than salary alone.
The wealth formula. Many people follow this pattern: earn, spend, save. Wealth builders follow a different pattern: earn, invest, spend. This simple adjustment changes everything. Instead of treating investments as optional, they treat them as mandatory. Their future becomes a priority rather than an afterthought.
Building assets. Wealth grows when assets grow. Assets are things that either generate income, increase in value, do both. Examples include financial assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. Real assets, rental properties, commercial real estate, agricultural investments. Business assets, companies, franchises, digital businesses. Intellectual assets, books, courses, patents, royalties. Every asset acquired moves you closer to financial independence. Income versus wealth. A simple comparison. Income, what you earn. Temporary. Depends on work. Pays bills. Wealth, what you own. Long-lasting. Can exist without work. Often passive. Creates freedom. High income can disappear. wealth can continue generating income for generations.
The goal: financial independence. Financial independence occurs when income from assets covers your living expenses. At that point, work becomes optional. Decisions become flexible. Stress decreases. Freedom increases. This is why wealth builders focus on assets rather than salaries alone. Key lessons from this chapter. Via income and wealth are not the same thing. High earners can still be financially broke. Net worth is a better measure of financial success than salary. Wealth grows through asset accumulation. Financial independence comes from asset-generated income. Looking wealthy is not the same as being wealthy.
Chapter 5. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. Wealth is best defined as A. Monthly salary. B. Job title. C. Assets minus liabilities. D. Annual income. Answer: C. 2. What causes many high earners to remain broke? A. Low intelligence. B. Lifestyle inflation. C. Investing too much. D. Saving too much. Answer: B.
3. Which of the following is an asset? A. Credit card debt. B. Personal loan. C. Rental property. D. Car financing balance. Answer: C. 4. Financial independence occurs when A. You stop working. B. You earn a high salary. C. Asset income covers expenses. D. You own a luxury car. Answer: C. 5. Which is the better measure of wealth? A. Salary. B. Job title. C. Net worth. D. Monthly spending. Answer: C.
True or false? A high income automatically creates wealth. False. Net worth equals assets minus liabilities. True. Wealthy people focus on acquiring assets. True. Looking wealthy means you are wealthy. False. Financial independence is achieved through asset-generated income. True. Reflection questions. Are you focused more on increasing income or increasing net worth? What assets do you currently own? What liabilities are slowing your wealth-building journey? Wealth-building exercise. Calculate your current net worth. List all assets, all liabilities, your net worth. Then create a goal to increase your net worth by at least 10% within the next year.
Chapter 6. Making money work for you. The story of two farmers. Two farmers inherited identical pieces of land. The first farmer harvested every crop and spent all the profits. The second farmer harvested his crops, but reinvested a portion of every harvest into better seeds, improved equipment, and expanding his farmland. After 20 years, the second farmer's land produced 10 times more than the first farmer's. The difference wasn't luck. It was reinvestment. Money behaves the same way. Money can either be consumed or multiplied. The wealthy understand how to make money work for them.
The problem with trading time for money. Most people earn money through work. This is called active income. Examples include
salaries, wages, consulting fees, freelance work. The challenge is that active income requires continuous effort. If you stop working, the income often stops too. This is why wealth builders focus on creating systems where money can continue growing without constant labor. Understanding compound interest. Albert Einstein allegedly referred to compound interest as one of the most powerful forces in the world. Compound interest occurs when earnings generate additional earnings. In simple terms, your money earns money. Then that money earns even more money. Why compounding is powerful. Imagine investing 1 million naira at 10% annual growth. Year 1, 1,100,000 naira. Year 2, 1,210,000 naira. Year 3, 1,331,000 naira. Notice something important. The growth becomes larger every year because the returns themselves begin generating returns. Time becomes your greatest ally. The 3 ingredients of wealth growth. Compounding requires 3 things. 1. Capital. Money must be invested. 2. Time. The longer the investment period, the greater the growth. 3. Patience. Compounding appears slow initially, but accelerates dramatically over time. Many people quit before experiencing its true power.
Understanding passive income. Passive income is money earned with limited ongoing effort. It does not mean doing nothing. It usually requires effort up front. Once established, however, it can continue generating income. Examples include investment income, dividends, bonds, mutual funds, real estate income, rental properties, short-term rentals, business income, franchises, automated businesses, intellectual property, books, online courses, licensing agreements. Passive income creates financial flexibility and freedom. Building multiple streams of income. Many people depend on a single source of income. This creates risk. Imagine losing your only source of income. Financial stress would likely follow. Wealth builders often create multiple streams. Examples include salary, investments, business profits, rental income, royalties. The more income streams you develop, the stronger your financial foundation becomes. Investment strategies for long-term wealth. There are countless investment opportunities. Successful investors focus on proven principles. Strategy 1. Invest consistently. Invest regularly, regardless of market conditions. Consistency often outperforms attempting to perfectly time the market. Strategy 2. Diversify. Avoid placing all your money into a single investment. Spread risk across stocks, real estate, businesses, fixed income assets. Diversification protects against unexpected losses. Strategy 3. Think long-term. Short-term market movements can be unpredictable. Long-term growth is where wealth is often created. Patience is frequently rewarded. Strategy 4. Reinvest earnings. One of the fastest ways to accelerate wealth is by reinvesting profits.
Instead of spending dividends, rental income, or business profits immediately, reinvest them into additional assets. This creates a compounding cycle. Strategy 5. Continue learning. Investment opportunities evolve. Financial education helps investors adapt and make better decisions. The wealth machine. Imagine building a machine. At first, it requires effort. Over time, however, the machine begins producing value on its own. Assets are wealth machines. Each investment, property, business, or intellectual asset can become a machine generating future income. The goal is to own enough machines that your money works harder than you do. Key lessons from this chapter. Money should be viewed as a worker, not merely a resource. Compound interest accelerates wealth growth. Passive income creates financial freedom. Multiple income streams reduce risk. Consistent investing beats sporadic investing. Reinvesting profits accelerates compounding. Wealth is created when money works for you. Chapter 6. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. Compound interest occurs when A. Money loses value. B. Earnings generate additional earnings. C. Taxes increase. D. Spending increases. Answer B. 2. Which is an example of passive income? A. Monthly salary. B. Hourly wages. C. Rental income. D. Overtime pay. Answer C. 3. What is diversification? A. Spending more money. B. Investing in one asset. C. Spreading investments across multiple assets. D. Avoiding investments. Answer C. 4. Which factor contributes most to compounding? A. Impatience. B. Time. C. Luxury spending. D. Debt accumulation. Answer B. Why should investors reinvest profits? A. To accelerate growth. B. To increase spending. C. To avoid budgeting. D. To eliminate taxes. Answer A. True or false? Passive income usually requires initial effort. True. Compounding becomes stronger over time. True. Diversification reduces investment risk. True. Wealth builders depend on one source of income. False. Reinvesting profits helps accelerate wealth growth. True. Reflection questions. How many income streams do you currently have? Are you investing enough to benefit from long-term compounding? What passive income source could you begin building within the next year? Wealth building exercise. Create your money working for you plan. List current sources of income, desired passive income sources, monthly investment amount, target asset value in 5 years, target passive income amount in 10 years. Remember, the wealthy do not simply earn money. They build systems that allow money to earn more money on their behalf. Chapter 7. Assets, Liabilities, and Cash Flow. The story of two business owners. Michael and David each received 10 million naira from the sale of a family property. Michael immediately bought a luxury SUV, expensive furniture, and upgraded his lifestyle. David used his money differently. He purchased a rental property, invested in dividend-paying stocks, and started a small business. 5 years later, Michael's SUV had lost much of its value. His furniture generated no income, and he still needed to work to cover his expenses. David's investments generated monthly income. His rental property appreciated in value, and his business produced profits. Both men spent the same amount of money. One bought liabilities. The other acquired assets. The lesson is simple. Financial success depends less on how much money
Chapter
you
7.
earn and more on what you
Assets,
do
liabilities,
with the money you have.
and cash flow. The story of two business owners. Michael and David each received 10 million pesos from the sale of a family property. Michael immediately bought a luxury SUV, expensive furniture, and upgraded his lifestyle. David used his money differently. He purchased a rental property, invested in dividend-paying stocks, and started a small business. 5 years later, Michael's SUV had lost much of its value. His furniture generated no income, and he still needed to work to cover his expenses. David's investments generated monthly income. His rental property appreciated in value, and his business produced profits. Both men spent the same amount of money. One bought liabilities. The other acquired assets. The lesson is simple. Financial success depends less on how much money you earn and more on what you do with the money you have.
Understanding assets. One of the most important financial concepts is understanding what an asset truly is. Many people believe assets are simply things they own. However, ownership alone does not make something an asset. What is an asset? An asset is anything that generates income, increases in value, produces future economic benefit. Assets help put money into your pocket. Examples include financial assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate assets, rental properties, commercial buildings, agricultural land, business assets, ownership in companies, franchises, digital businesses, intellectual assets, books, online courses, patents, royalties. Every asset has one primary job: to make you richer over time.
The asset mindset. Most people spend money. Wealth builders acquire assets. When they receive income, they ask, can this money purchase an asset? Will this investment generate future income? How can this money multiply itself? This simple habit creates a growing asset base that eventually generates wealth independently of active work. Understanding liabilities. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Liabilities often require ongoing payments and expenses. Examples include credit card debt, personal loans, vehicle loans, consumer debt, high-interest financing. Many liabilities create financial pressure because they demand future income. Instead of generating wealth, they consume it. The hidden cost of liabilities. Liabilities rarely cost only their purchase price. Consider a financed vehicle. The costs may include loan repayments, insurance, maintenance, fuel, depreciation. The total cost can become far greater than the original purchase amount. Wealth builders evaluate liabilities carefully before taking them on. Assets versus liabilities. Consider the following examples: item, asset, or liability. Rental property generating income, asset. Dividend-paying stock, asset. Business ownership, asset. Credit card debt, liability.
Car loan, liability. Personal loan for consumption, liability. The wealthy continually increase assets while minimizing unnecessary liabilities.
Why many people stay financially stuck? Most people follow this cycle: income, spending, debt, more spending. As income increases, expenses increase. As expenses increase, debt increases. As debt increases, financial freedom decreases. Wealth builders follow a different cycle: income, asset acquisition, cash flow, more assets. The result is a growing financial foundation. Understanding cash flow. Cash flow is the movement of money into and out of your life. Simply put, cash in minus cash out equals cash flow. Positive cash flow occurs when more money enters than leaves. Negative cash flow occurs when more money leaves than enters.
Positive cash flow versus negative cash flow. Positive cash flow. Monthly income, 500,000 naira. Monthly expenses, 350,000 naira. Cash flow, plus 150,000 naira. This surplus can be invested into assets. Negative cash flow. Monthly income, 500,000 naira. Monthly expenses, 600,000 naira. Cash flow, minus 100,000 naira. This deficit often leads to debt accumulation. Why cash flow matters? Many people focus on income. Wealth builders focus on cash flow. A person earning 300,000 naira monthly while saving 100,000 naira may be in a stronger financial position than someone earning 1 million naira but spending 1,050,000 naira. Income alone does not determine financial health. Cash flow does.
Creating positive cash flow. Step 1. Track every expense. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Begin tracking food, transportation, entertainment, utilities, subscriptions, miscellaneous spending. Many people discover financial leaks they never noticed before. Step 2. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Does this expense improve my life? Could this money be invested instead? Small savings can become significant investments over time. Step 3. Increase income. Positive cash flow can be created by learning new skills, starting a side business, freelancing, investing, seeking career advancement. Step 4. Acquire more assets. The ultimate goal is to create assets that generate additional cash flow. Examples: rental income, dividends, business profits, royalties. Each new asset strengthens your financial position. The cash flow formula of wealth. The wealthy focus on a simple formula. More assets equals more cash flow, equals more investments, equals more assets. This cycle creates financial momentum. Over time, assets begin funding additional assets. That is how wealth compounds. Key lessons from this chapter. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Wealth grows through asset accumulation. Positive cash flow is essential for wealth creation. Tracking expenses improves financial awareness. Cash flow often matters more than income. Financial freedom is built through ownership of income-producing assets. Chapter 7. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. What is an asset? A. Anything you own. B. Something that generates future economic benefit. C. Any expensive purchase. D. A monthly bill. Answer. B. 2. Which of the following is a liability? A. Rental property. B. Dividend stock. C. Credit card debt. D. Business ownership. Answer. C. 3. Positive cash flow occurs when A. Expenses exceed income. B. Income exceeds expenses. C. Debt increases. D. Savings decrease. Answer. B. 4. Which activity helps create positive cash flow? A. Ignoring expenses. B. Increasing debt. C. Tracking spending. D. Financing luxuries. Answer. C. 5. Wealth builders primarily focus on A. Consumption. B. Asset acquisition. C. Status symbols. D. Impulse purchases. Answer. B. True or false? Assets generate economic benefits. True. Cash flow measures money moving in and out. True. A car loan is typically a liability. True. Positive cash flow supports wealth creation. True. High income automatically guarantees positive cash flow. False.
Reflection questions. Which liabilities currently consume most of your income? What assets could you begin acquiring within the next year? Is your current cash flow positive or negative? Wealth building exercise. Create your personal cash flow statement. List monthly income, monthly expenses, existing assets, existing liabilities. Identify 3 actions that can improve your cash flow within the next 90 days.
Chapter 8. Escaping the Lifestyle Trap. The story of Henry's promotion. Henry worked hard for years and finally received a major promotion. His salary increased from £400,000 to £1,200,000 monthly. He was excited. Within 6 months, he moved to a larger apartment. He purchased a luxury vehicle. He upgraded his phone. He increased his entertainment budget. He began dining out more frequently. Soon, Henry was earning 3 times more than before. Yet, he felt no wealthier. In fact, he was under more financial pressure than ever. His lifestyle had expanded as quickly as his income. This phenomenon is known as the lifestyle trap.
What is lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation occurs when spending increases every time income increases. Many people believe higher income automatically leads to wealth. Unfortunately, higher income often leads to higher expenses instead. Examples include bigger houses, more expensive vehicles, premium subscriptions, luxury vacations, designer brands. The result is often financial stagnation despite increased earnings. Why lifestyle inflation is dangerous. Lifestyle inflation creates several problems. Reduced savings. More income is consumed instead of invested. Increased dependence. Higher expenses require continued high earnings. Greater financial stress. Unexpected income disruptions become more dangerous. Delayed wealth building.
Money that could have purchased assets is consumed by lifestyle upgrades.
The psychological trap. Humans naturally compare themselves to others. As income rises, people often feel pressure to keep up with peers, display success, upgrade possessions, maintain appearances. Unfortunately, appearances do not build wealth. Assets build wealth. The difference between rich and wealthy. A rich person may earn a lot, spend a lot, own expensive items. A wealthy person may own income-producing assets, have substantial net worth, generate passive income, maintain financial freedom. The goal is not merely to look rich. The goal is to become wealthy.
Smart spending. Escaping the lifestyle trap does not mean avoiding enjoyment. Money should enhance life. The key is spending intentionally. Questions smart spenders ask: before making major purchases, do I truly need this? Can I comfortably afford it? Will this improve my life? What opportunity am I sacrificing? Would investing this money create greater value? Smart spending aligns with long-term goals. The power of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is the ability to postpone immediate pleasure for greater future rewards. This habit separates many successful investors from average consumers.
The tree principle. Imagine planting a fruit tree. The farmer could dig it up after 1 week and demand fruit, or he could allow it to grow. The patient farmer eventually enjoys years of harvests. Investments work the same way. Many people sacrifice future abundance for immediate satisfaction. Wealth builders understand the value of patience. Delayed gratification in action. Examples include, instead of buying a luxury car immediately, consider investing first and upgrading later. Instead of spending every bonus, consider allocating part of it to investments. Instead of financing luxury purchases, consider building assets first. The reward is often greater financial freedom in the future.
Living below your means. One of the most powerful wealth-building habits is simple. Spend less than you earn. This creates positive cash flow, investment capital, financial security, peace of mind. Many millionaires quietly live below their means even after becoming wealthy. The Wealth Builder's Spending Formula. A useful principle is: increase income. Down, maintain reasonable expenses. Down, invest the difference. Down, build assets. Down, increase wealth. This approach prevents income growth from being consumed by lifestyle growth. Key lessons from this chapter. Lifestyle inflation can destroy wealth-building progress. Increased income does not guarantee increased wealth. Smart spending supports long-term goals. Delayed gratification is a powerful wealth-building habit. Living below your means creates investment opportunities. Wealth is built through assets, not appearances. Financial freedom requires discipline and patience. Chapter 8. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. What is lifestyle inflation? A. Investing more money. B. Increasing spending as income rises. C. Reducing expenses. D. Paying off debt.
Answer: B. 2. Which habit helps build wealth? A. Spending every raise. B. Delayed gratification. C. Impulse purchases. D. Excessive borrowing. Answer: B. 3. Smart spending focuses on A. Buying the cheapest option. B. Following trends. C. Intentional purchasing decisions. D. Avoiding all spending. Answer: C.
4. Wealth builders generally A. Spend first and invest later. B. Live beyond their means. C. Live below their means. D. Depend on debt. Answer: C. 5. What primarily creates wealth? A. Appearances. B. Assets. C. Status symbols. D. Expensive possessions. Answer: B.
True or false? Lifestyle inflation can delay wealth creation.
True. Delayed gratification supports long-term financial success. True. Wealthy people always live extravagantly. False. Smart spending means spending intentionally. True. Living below your means creates investment opportunities. True. Reflection questions. Has your spending increased as your income increased? Which expenses could be reduced without significantly affecting your quality of life? What financial goal would benefit most from delayed gratification?
Wealth building exercise. Perform a lifestyle audit. Review your last 3 months of spending and identify 3 expenses driven by convenience, 3 expenses driven by status, 3 expenses that genuinely improved your life. Create a plan to redirect at least 20% of unnecessary spending toward investments over the next 6 months. Remember, wealth is not built by earning more and spending more. Wealth is built by earning more, spending wisely, and investing the difference. Chapter 9: Risk, Failure, and Wealth Creation. The story of the entrepreneur who failed 3 times. At the age of 27, Emmanuel believed he had discovered the perfect business opportunity. He invested nearly all his savings into a small retail business. Within 18 months, the business collapsed. Poor planning, weak cash flow management, and inexperience led to failure. Devastated but determined, Emmanuel returned to work, rebuilt his savings, and tried again. His second business failed because he partnered with the wrong people. 2 years later, he launched a third venture. This time, the market changed unexpectedly, and the business struggled to survive. 3 failures, 3 disappointments, 3 painful lessons. Most people would have quit. But Emmanuel did something different. Instead of viewing failure as proof that he could not succeed, he viewed it as education. He analyzed every mistake. He studied successful entrepreneurs. He improved his financial management skills. He learned how to evaluate opportunities more carefully. Several years later, he launched a 4th business.
Several years later, he launched a 4th business. That company grew steadily, expanded into multiple cities, and eventually generated millions in annual revenue. When people saw Emmanuel's success, they called him lucky. What they didn't see were the failures that taught him how to succeed. The truth is that wealth creation often requires the courage to fail learn, and try again.
Why risk is necessary. Most people desire financial success. Few are willing to embrace the uncertainty that often accompanies it. The reality is simple. Every meaningful financial opportunity involves some level of risk. Examples include starting a business, investing in stocks, buying real estate, learning a new skill, changing careers. There are no rewards without uncertainty. If wealth creation were completely risk-free, everyone would be wealthy. The opportunities that create wealth usually require stepping beyond comfort zones.
Understanding risk. Many people misunderstand risk. They assume risk means danger. In reality, risk simply means uncertainty. Risk exists whenever the outcome is unknown. For example, investing in a stock involves risk. Starting a business involves risk. Hiring employees involves risk. But avoiding all risk carries risks too. Remaining financially stagnant can be just as dangerous as making a poor investment decision.
The hidden risk of playing it safe. Imagine two individuals. Person A keeps all their money in cash, avoids investing, avoids business opportunities, avoids learning new skills, avoids change. Person B invests carefully, learns continuously, builds assets, takes calculated risks. Over 20 years, Person B is likely to accumulate significantly more wealth. Why? Because growth often requires uncertainty. Ironically, the safest-looking path may be the riskiest long-term strategy.
The greatest financial risk. Many people believe losing money is the greatest financial risk. It isn't. The greatest financial risk is often failing to grow. Inflation reduces purchasing power. Industries evolve. Technology changes. Opportunities emerge and disappear. People who avoid all risk may eventually find themselves financially vulnerable. The goal is not to eliminate risk. The goal is to manage it intelligently. Calculated risk versus gambling. One of the most important distinctions in wealth creation is understanding the difference between investing and gambling. Many people confuse the two. They are not the same.
What is gambling? Gambling relies primarily on chance. Examples include betting without research, speculating based on rumors, investing money you cannot afford to lose, making emotional financial decisions. Gamblers hope. Investors analyze. What is calculated risk? Calculated risk involves research, planning, probability assessment, risk management, contingency preparation. Before making decisions, successful investors ask, what could go wrong? What could go right? What is the potential reward? What is the potential downside? Can I survive the worst-case scenario? Calculated risk increases the likelihood of success while limiting unnecessary losses.
The risk-reward principle.
Generally speaking, higher rewards often require accepting higher levels of uncertainty. However, smart investors do not pursue risk blindly. They seek opportunities where the potential reward outweighs the potential risk. The downside is manageable. The odds are favorable. The objective is not to take more risks. The objective is to take better risks. Learning from financial mistakes. Every successful wealth builder has made mistakes. Common mistakes include buying bad investments, starting unsuccessful businesses, trusting the wrong partners, spending excessively, taking on unnecessary debt. Mistakes are not the problem. Failing to learn from them is.
Turning failure into financial education. Failure can become one of the most valuable teachers. After every setback, ask, what happened? Analyze the situation objectively. Why did it happen? Identify the root cause. What did I learn? Extract the lesson. How can I improve? Create a better strategy moving forward. Each mistake can either become a burden or a lesson. The choice belongs to you. Building resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and continue moving forward. Financial resilience is especially important because wealth creation is rarely a straight path. There will be market downturns, business challenges, unexpected expenses, investment losses, economic uncertainty. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit often comes down to resilience.
Characteristics of resilient wealth builders. They stay focused on the long term. They understand that temporary setbacks do not define permanent outcomes. They control their emotions. Fear and greed often lead to poor financial decisions. Resilient individuals make decisions based on logic rather than emotion. They adapt. When circumstances change, they adjust their strategies. Flexibility increases survival. They continue learning. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth.
The Wealth Builder's Decision Framework. Before making any significant financial decision, use this framework. Step 1. Define the opportunity. What exactly am I considering? Be specific. Step 2. Identify the potential upside. What is the best realistic outcome? Step 3. Identify the potential downside. What is the worst realistic outcome? Step 4. Measure the risk. How likely is the downside? How severe would it be? Step 5. Create a protection plan. How can I reduce potential losses? Examples include diversification, insurance, emergency funds, contracts, professional advice.
Step 6. Decide. Once you have sufficient information, make a decision confidently. Avoid endless hesitation. Opportunity often favors action. The courage to act. Many people spend years waiting for certainty. Unfortunately, certainty rarely exists. Investors understand that perfect information is impossible. At some point, action becomes necessary. Successful wealth builders accept uncertainty while managing risk intelligently. They move forward despite not knowing exactly how everything will unfold next year. Key lessons from this chapter. Risk is a necessary part of wealth creation. Avoiding all risk can be financially dangerous. Calculated risk differs significantly from gambling. Every financial mistake contains a lesson. Resilience is essential for long-term success. Successful investors focus on risk management rather than risk avoidance. The goal is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to make intelligent decisions despite it.
Chapter 9. Assessment. Multiple choice questions. 1. What is the greatest financial risk discussed in this chapter? A. Losing money in an investment. B. Paying taxes. C.
avoiding all risk and failing to grow? D. Starting a business. Answer: C. 2. Which best describes calculated risk? A. Acting on emotion. B. Betting without research. C. Researching and evaluating potential outcomes before acting. D. Following rumors. Answer: C. 3. Which of the following is most associated with gambling? A. Diversification. B. Risk analysis. C. Planning. D. Speculation without research. Answer: D.
4. Resilience refers to A. Avoiding failure completely. B. Recovering from setbacks and continuing forward. C. Making quick profits. D. Eliminating uncertainty. Answer: B. 5. Before making a major investment, you should A. Follow social media trends. B. Evaluate potential upside and downside. C. Borrow excessively. D. Ignore risks. Answer: B.
True or false? Wealth creation can occur without any risk. False. Calculated risks involve research and planning. True. Financial mistakes can become valuable learning experiences. True. Successful investors never experience failure. False. Resilience is important for long-term wealth building. True. Reflection questions. What financial risk have you been avoiding due to fear? What is the most valuable lesson you have learned from a financial mistake? How can you improve your decision-making process when evaluating opportunities? Wealth building exercise. Create your personal risk assessment plan. List. Opportunity you are considering. Potential benefits. Potential risks. Worst case scenario. Risk mitigation strategy. Final decision.
Wealth Builders Challenge. Think of one financial opportunity you have been postponing because of uncertainty. Apply the decision framework from this chapter. Gather the necessary information. Evaluate the risks. Create a protection plan. Then, make a decision. Remember, the goal is not to avoid risk. The goal is to become skilled at managing it. Most people fail because they fear failure. Wealth builders succeed because they learn from it.
Chapter 10. The Wealth Builder's Blueprint. Your personal roadmap to financial freedom, legacy, and lasting wealth. The story of two futures. Imagine two versions of yourself 10 years from now. The first version continues living without a clear financial plan. Money comes in and goes out. Goals remain dreams. Investments are delayed. Opportunities are missed. Years pass, but little changes. Now imagine a second version of yourself. This version has a vision. Every financial decision supports a long-term objective. Assets are accumulated consistently. Risks are managed intelligently. Skills are continuously developed. A legacy is intentionally built. 10 years later, this version enjoys financial confidence, growing wealth, and increasing freedom. The difference between these two futures is not luck. It is planning.
Throughout this book, you have learned how wealth is created. This final chapter will help you design your own Wealth Builder's Blueprint, a practical roadmap for turning knowledge into action. Step 1. Define your wealth vision. A person without a destination is unlikely to arrive anywhere meaningful. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than planning their financial future. Wealth builders are different. They know where they are going. Your 1-year goals. Your 1-year goals should focus on creating momentum. Examples: build an emergency fund, eliminate high-interest debt, read 12 financial books, start investing, launch a side business, increase income by 20%. Write your 1-year goals. Goal 1, Goal 2, Goal 3. Your 5-year goals. 5 years is enough time to create significant financial change. Examples: purchase an investment property, build a 6-figure investment portfolio, create multiple income streams, launch a successful business, achieve positive cash flow from assets. Write your 5-year goals. Your 10-year goals. 10-year goals should focus on transformation. Examples: achieve financial independence, build generational wealth, own multiple businesses, create a passive income portfolio, become debt-free. Write your 10-year goals. Remember, a goal without a timeline is merely a wish.
Step 2. Build your asset plan. Wealth is built through ownership. Your asset plan determines how your money will work for you. Stocks. Stocks provide ownership in businesses. Benefits include long-term growth, dividend income, liquidity, accessibility. Questions to ask: how much will I invest monthly? What percentage of my portfolio should be in stocks? What is my long-term investment horizon? Real estate. Real estate remains one of the most powerful wealth-building assets. Benefits include rental income, appreciation, leverage opportunities, inflation protection. Questions to ask: do I want residential or commercial property? How much capital do I need? What return am I targeting? Businesses. Businesses can generate income beyond your personal labor. Benefits include scalability, cash flow, wealth creation potential. Questions to ask: what problem can I solve? What skills do I possess? What market opportunities exist? Alternative investments. Examples include commodities, precious metals, private equity, intellectual property, digital assets, royalties. Alternative investments can provide diversification and additional growth opportunities. Your asset allocation plan. Stocks, set a percentage. Real estate, set a percentage. Business investments, set a percentage. Alternative investments, set a percentage. Cash reserves, set a percentage. Step 3. Create your risk strategy. Every investment involves uncertainty. Successful wealth builders manage risk instead of fearing it. Know your risk tolerance. Ask yourself, how much volatility can I tolerate? How would I react to a temporary loss? Am I investing for growth or preservation? Your risk strategy should match your personality and goals. Diversification. Diversification means spreading investments across different asset classes. Benefits include reduced risk, increased stability, better long-term performance. Never depend entirely on a single investment. Capital preservation. Your first responsibility is protecting your capital. Principles include emergency funds, insurance, proper research, avoiding emotional decisions, limiting unnecessary debt, Remember, protecting wealth is often more important than creating it.
Step 4. Design your wealth habits. Wealth is not built by occasional actions. It is built through consistent habits. Daily habits. Examples: read for 30 minutes, track expenses, learn a new skill, review financial goals. Daily action plan. Weekly habits. Examples: review spending, expand your network, study investment opportunities, evaluate business progress. Weekly action plan. Monthly reviews. Each month ask, did my net worth increase? Did I acquire assets? Did I improve my skills? Did I maintain positive cash flow? Monthly review notes. Annual wealth audits. Every year, conduct a complete financial review. Evaluate network, asset growth, investment performance, income growth, financial goals. The wealthy measure progress. What gets measured gets improved.
Step 5. Build your legacy. Many people focus on creating wealth. Few focus on preserving it. Fewer still focus on transferring it. True wealth extends beyond one generation. Generational wealth. Generational wealth means creating assets that continue benefiting future generations. Examples: businesses, real estate, investment portfolios, intellectual property. Financial education for family. One of the greatest gifts you can provide is financial literacy. Teach future generations. Saving, investing, budgeting, entrepreneurship, wealth preservation. Wealth without wisdom rarely survives. Wealth transfer principles. Prepare for the future through wills, trusts, succession planning, estate planning. Building wealth is important. Protecting it is equally important.
Impact and contribution. The highest level of wealth is contribution. Consider mentorship, community development, philanthropy, job creation. Money is a tool. Its greatest purpose is often found in the lives it improves. Final wealth assessment. Answer each question with 1 point. Yes, 0 points. No. Section A. Mindset. 12 questions. Do you believe wealth can be learned? Do you have written financial goals? Do you regularly invest in learning? Do you maintain a growth mindset? Do you avoid victim thinking? Do you take responsibility for financial outcomes? Do you understand delayed gratification? Do you actively seek opportunities? Do you view problems as learning experiences? Do you regularly read personal finance content? Do you believe assets create wealth? Do you think long-term rather than short-term?
Section B. Investing. 13 questions. Do you currently invest? Do you understand compound interest? Do you understand diversification? Do you have an investment strategy? Do you research before investing? Do you avoid emotional investing? Do you understand risk management? Do you own income-producing assets? Do you reinvest profits? Do you monitor investments regularly? Do you maintain cash reserves? Do you avoid speculative investments? Do you have long-term investment goals? Section C.
Wealth habits. 12 questions. Do you follow a budget? Do you save consistently? Do you track expenses? Do you review finances monthly? Do you network intentionally? Do you continuously develop skills? Do you avoid unnecessary debt? Do you prioritize assets over luxuries? Do you read regularly? Do you maintain financial discipline? Do you have positive cash flow? Do you live below your means?
Section D. Wealth building. 13 questions. Do you know your net worth? Have you increased your net worth this year? Do you have multiple income streams? Do you have a wealth building plan? Do you own appreciating assets? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have retirement investments? Do you understand asset allocation? Do you actively build wealth? Do you have legacy goals? Do you have a risk management plan? Do you review progress annually? Are you committed to lifelong financial growth? Wealth Builder Scorecard. 0 to 20 points. Financial beginner. You are just beginning your wealth building journey. The good news is that awareness is the first step toward financial transformation. 21 to 35 points. Emerging investor. You understand many wealth building fundamentals and are building momentum. Continue improving your habits and expanding your asset base.
36 to 45 points. Strategic wealth creator. You have developed strong financial habits and a solid understanding of investing. You are well on your way to long-term financial success. 46 to 50 points. Wealth architect. You think, act, and plan like a true wealth builder. Continue refining your systems and building a legacy that can endure for generations. Final message to the reader. Wealth is not created in a day. It is created through thousands of decisions made over years. Every asset you acquire, every book you read, every skill you develop, every investment you make, and every risk you intelligently take becomes a brick in the foundation of your financial future. The goal of this book was never to make you rich overnight. The goal was to help you become the type of person who can create wealth repeatedly, preserve it wisely, and pass it on for generations. Your future wealth is not determined by where you start. It is determined by the decisions you make from this day forward. You now possess the mindset, principles, and framework used by successful wealth builders. The question is no longer whether wealth is possible for you. The question is whether you will act. The journey begins now. The next chapter of your financial story starts today. Make it a masterpiece.